Well, shoot. There's the problem right there. Alright, for those who are new to the channel, my name is Donnie. I'm the guy over there on the left, and that's my Erevo 2.0. For some reason, I just can't keep my finger off of that trigger. I just want to punch it all the time. So yeah, this is what happened. Bad landing. But actually, I was pretty lucky. It sounded worse than what it really was. So let's take a look at it. Alright, so I got the tire off using it as a stand right now. I'm just going to line up the axle here. It just popped out. So I'll line that back up in here. Pretty simple, pretty easy. And then what I'm going to do is I will probably clean this out a little bit here. I'll clean this out a little bit here. Just pulled the threads through. And I'm just going to glue it for now. So far it looks pretty good on this little CV joint thing here. Yeah, so that's all I'm going to do, you guys, just for now. And then if that pulls through again, I'll just drill it out. I'll put what we used to call a Healy coil. We used to put them in motors and engines, stuff like that. I'll put one of those little coils in there and then screw this guy back in there, and it'll expand out and it'll hold it tighter. I'll probably end up ripping this thing out before it comes out of this. So, but that's what I'm gonna do for now. So that way I don't have to replace no A-arm or anything. So just a quick fix, some quick super glue. That's all I'm gonna use. I'm waiting for some Gorilla Glue. All right, what I'm gonna do next is use the tool that Traxxas did supply. So it does come with your Erevo 2.0 if you did buy it from the factory. So they do include these tools. You get some wrenches and things like that. And of course the lug nut remover there for the tire and for the inner stud. So, but anyways, it has these little weird deals on here. So you have to find which one. So there's a little outlet right here. So that way Traxxas makes you go and buy their tools. So, but this just slips in here. So I can unscrew this just like this. So it's backed all the way out. I got some dirt in there, but you can see the piece here. Just a little, I guess that's what, plastic, I guess. Yeah, it looks like plastic, feels like it. So not very strong, but as you can see in there, there's where your little wrench is gonna go. So that's where these guys come in handy. So you're gonna find which one fits in there. So anyways, gonna go in there and find which one, and that of course is the one. So I'll be able to spin that and screw it back in there once I get some super glue in there. I'll get this cleaned out, get some super glue in there, screw that back in, let it cure overnight, and then I'll put everything back together and test it out and see how it goes. All right, it's here, Gorilla Glue. That's what I'm gonna use. Just gonna use that for right now. Gonna go and clean this out a little bit, put some Gorilla Glue in there, put this little ball joint back in, and I'll kind of compress it overnight for about 24 hours, let it go and set pretty good, at least the best it can, and then I'll go and thrash it a little bit until it pulls through again. Man, you could tell that thing went through the mountains to come here to Oregon, because as soon as I opened up the cap, it just all over the darn place. So
damn.
All right, anyways, I got, you know, quite a bit in there. I don't want to go too crazy, because then once I screw that in there, all that stuff I'm gonna have to keep from getting on this boot and everything, or it'll destroy that boot. So all right, let me hook this together. All right, look like it works so far. I put the top cap in, so that seals it. So if you have any gap right here, don't get scared. It's just because the cap's not in there. That'll help keep this all centered. But go and check the other caps. I'm gonna take the other wheels off, because check this out. Look at that, it's loose. So definitely, you know, go around and check them just to make sure everything's tight. So that should work. I'm gonna let this go ahead and seal and set, so that way that glue hopefully melts to these threads and makes new threads for it and holds in there pretty good. So all right guys, let me go ahead and start going around checking all the other stuff. So I'm on the other side of this thing. I just wanted to show you how loose these are. Look at that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these both out, just make sure these are tight in there, and then I'll go and tighten these back up. But I just wanted to show you how loose everything can get on these things. Just a couple runs from the factory. So it's, you know, you always want to double check it I double checked them before I went and ran it, and everything was tight. And then I ran it twice, and I'm checking it now. So probably want to check them every run, depending on how hard you run it. But I would always go over each screw. Don't over tighten them. Just barely snug them. You don't have to go crazy. It's all plastic on here, so you don't hardly have any metal. So all right, now we're to the last front one here, and look at this, super loose. And when I did this back wheel, inside this ball joint, they were all loose into the A-arm, so I had to tighten both up, top and bottom. So definitely check those as often as you can, but don't over tighten them. I can't stress that enough. Don't over tighten. All right, I got that little safety set screw in there, and let's see how much of a turn. See, there we go. I'm just doing it, just my fingers. I'm not sitting here wrenching on it like this, you know. I'm just using my fingers, just doing a little finger tight here, just to get it snugged up. And then once I put that piece back in here, this will tighten this back up again. So I'll take the bottom piece off and tighten the bottom one up next. Here's the last bottom one here, and as you can see, it is pretty loose. So I'm just doing a quick little finger tight there. Put this guy back on, and you want to just barely snug this guy or you're gonna strip it out. And I'm telling you, all these plastic parts, because look at this little key thing on here. It's nothing really here to it. It's all plastic. So with this guy, I'm just gonna keep going until I can start to feel it snug here. See if I can get a little bit better angle here. Just about there. Yeah, it's starting to get a little tight, and I'm just gonna barely do a little bit, because if you go to wrench, it's going to rip those teeth right off, and then you got to get another tool, or you might strip this piece. So, and that's what's going to hold this nice and tight for you. So, all right, that should be good. I'm going to let this thing go and set for 24 hours now, you guys, and I should be able to take this out for a run. Hopefully it'll hold up. I'm not going to take no humongous jumps, so it should hold up pretty good. All right, guys, hey, I'm out here with the Erevo, and now we're going to go take it for a little rip. Let's see how it does.
Yeah, right here you're gonna see the car just comes to a stop. I can't even turn it, give it any throttle. It just won't go at all. So this is where the receiver ended up stopping.
All right, so here's what's happening now. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this thing on. Let me turn the controller on. I got the wheels off for safety, of course. But it did a firmware update, and it was just about done, and then all of a sudden something happened. It got canceled. It said it didn't go through, retry. Well, when that happened, now this is what happened to the Erevo. So I got the controller on. Everything's flashing. So even this, and I thought, well, maybe it's in drag mode, So I tried holding it for a few seconds until it turned red, but it doesn't, So I don't know if this is fried, because these things are not very good receivers. So or I'm having something here, because I can't even program the ESC. It's a Castle Success ESC is what Traxxas went with, and it won't even let me do the sequence. I can't even go and try to program it, so it's just frozen this cycle right now. So I'm going to try replacing this first, because I have no steering, so there's nothing right now. I have nothing, so I'm going to go and try replacing this receiver and see if at least I get any connection. So I even went and bound these two together, and this is just what it does. So all right, you see how I didn't take the old receiver out just in case it wasn't it, but I'm pretty sure it is. I went ahead and put the little Erevo's receiver in there since it's brand new, but I'm going to be putting some other upgrade in there later anyway. So let's go ahead and bind this real quick, and then see if that was the problem. So we'll do the binding sequence. I'm going to hold this down and then turn on the Castle button right here. So you're not going to see that because I'm holding the camera. So press that button down. We're going to bind the controller with the receiver. So you're going to hold the set button down, and then you're going to come over here and, oh yeah, don't forget to subscribe, huh, guys? Anyways, turn the button on, let go, and we should be good. All right, you guys, it's finally working. Just had to put a new receiver in there. The firmware that they wanted me to update all of a sudden ended up glitching, and it made it flash like this. And this was flashing the ESC, like I showed you in the little video clip, and it was dead in the water. I tried what Traxxas said. They said to go and delete the app and then re-upload it again, redo everything, you know, reprogram the receiver and all that stuff, and it didn't work. So they wanted me to just send it back, but that's what I did. So I recommend just don't do any updates, because there's nothing I need to do. It's not like I need to update to go to the racetrack or anything. Everything's working the way I want it now, so why even update it? So I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. Everything's working great. I just did a little bit of adjustments on my throttle control and my steering and stuff like that, and got it back to where I had it. So, well, we were going to take it back out to the track, but it got too late, so I apologize. We'll have to do that on the next video. I appreciate you guys watching. God bless.